Hello and welcome to another showcase of the game I just finished a few hours ago, finally, after really hard work over these days to finish all the graphics, all the components, artwork. Finally we have the game before us. That is called MARE ISTRA. So what is the MARE ISTRA? MARE ISTRA is a cooperative horror survival game for up to 6 players. It can also be played solo, of course. If it's cooperative, you can also play it solo. And it is set in the year of 1926. It is a story of 20 crew members that got lost at the sea and their horrific experience meeting the tribe of the deep ones. So in this video I'm just gonna explain the components. I'm gonna showcase the components and explain some stuff about them, and then we're gonna set up the game. In the next video we're gonna play the game. So let's see what we have on this table, in this tabletop simulator mode. On the right side we have 4 monster charts with all monster behaviors and their statistics, how much spaces they move, what they need to roll to hit you, do they have any save rolls, enragement, and so on and so on. So we have 4 type of monsters, all horrific and scary. We have some dice we're gonna use in this game. You will need a regular d6 dice. Some of them should be in different colors because there is some charts where you roll a dice, you need one die need to be like multiplied by 10. So, and you will probably need one d20 during a game, but if you're gonna make a PMP, I guess everybody who's making print and plays probably have a d20. There is a 2-sided chart with the item manifest and armory manifest on one side and the panic and encounter rolls on the other side. Of course we have our big map, which is split into 3 decks: the upper deck, the lower deck, and the bilge. And here we have all the major rooms, which are numbered from 3 to 18, because sometimes when you need to spawn something in those rooms you're gonna roll 3d6. We have a noise spawn points marked with red, and we have a regular rooms which are not colored, they're just plain white, and they have these little like numbers 1.3 and 1.4 and so on. So that's when you need to spawn something, they use the system where one die is, as I said, multiplied with 10, and another one is just a regular die. So that goes from 11 to 66. Lastly we have a turn track. It goes from 1 to 24. It goes around like a little snake, so you're just following numbers, and that's how many turns the game lasts. If you don't manage to win by the turn 24, then you lose. It is a game that really depends on the time. You don't have enough time to do everything, so you'll have to do the most important things. We also have these lock tokens already set on the board. In the rule book it's written where you need to set them. I'm just gonna explain that one is in the main room, number 5, and if you check this little like a list, number 5 is the armory. One is set in the room number 13, and by the way these main rooms are you have 2 ways describing them: the black numbers, and sometimes you even have a space. Also I need to explain, this is a room, this is a space, this is also a room. So some rooms can be split into spaces by these dotted lines. So like this one, room is split into 3 spaces, and each room is connected by the doors. Okay, you see the doors. So where are these lock tokens? One is here in the room number 13, which is a generator. One is here. I think I placed this wrongly. Should be here. Let me just check the list. 16 is the captain's cabin. Yeah, so the captain's cabin is also locked. And the last lock token is here in the room 14, which if we check here, room 14 is the radio room. So the armory, the generator, the captain's cabin, and the radio room start locked. And that's the only rooms that can be locked during the game, which you have to unlock and to be able to enter them. On the board we also have these little staircases, and each of them tells you where it leads. So this one, staircase to the lower deck, is connected to this staircase here. They're almost on the same spot. So right, this one says staircase to the lower deck, goes here, and you can go back from the lower deck to the upper deck using staircases. These are also the rooms, so you actually have to enter them normally, like a normal room slash space. And that's about the map. We also have these 2 lifeboats which are not active right now. You have tokens for them, which are double-sided, green and red, depending are the lifeboats actually available or unavailable, because they might be destroyed. Now we come here. We have a deck of item cards with a specific image, and this is deck connected to the armory. These are the cards you're gonna use when you actually unlock the armory, so that's why I set them here. They're just items, munition, and pistols and rifles, stuff like that. Let's go from here, from left to right. So we have 2 specific tokens that I use during a crisis. So they are like specific to that crisis. We have the artifact and the AFA key, right? So you don't have many of these tokens, only 2, because they are used in 2 crises. Then we have the item deck of 60 items, all kind of items. Some of them also come with the crew, you'll see that. We have these 20 malediction cards, which always come into play with the face down, so they get revealed during a game. We have these event cards, 45 of them, and we have the monster spawn card, which when you have to spawn a monster, you're gonna consult it depending on the difficulty of the game, because it has a medium and hard side, as you can see on the bottom. Oops, sorry about that. So medium, and you flip it, it's hard. Alright. Then we have 4 noise tokens going from 1 to 4. Let me just arrange them a bit better. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I guess I'll have to do it manually. They are numbered, and when you need to place them, you always go from the lowest to the highest number. So we have 4 of these. Then we have a crew manifest deck with the 20 crew members, with the number from 1 to 20. We have 12 crisis cards. They have almost the same back as the event deck, because some of them are placed in the event deck. We have the wounds tokens. When your character gets wounded, you place 1 wound on their card. We have a little tokens for every character in the game. They are numbered with the name and the classification, what they are. Like, this is an officer, this is a cold trimmer, and so on. Then we have a omen card, which comes into 2. It is double-sided, so you have like 2 sides. This is for the medium, game, it's called medium omen, but other side is hard omen for the hard game. And it comes with the omen tracker on it already on the first page. And of course we have the monster tokens. We have all 4 types of monsters, and this is the maximum number of those monsters that can be spawned. They are also numbered from 1 to, as you can see, these howlers a number from 1 to 6, so you can in one period of the game you actually can have 6 of them on the map. Deep ones, eels and hybrids. And that's about all the components, I think. We also have here box tokens that will be seeded all over the map, that represent the boxes that, in which contain items, and the encounter tokens that will also be seeded all over the map, which represent all kind of things that you could find in the room that you will have to encounter as you move through the ship. Alright, so that's all the components, and now we're gonna set up the game. I'm gonna play a solo game, and when you're playing solo, I recommend that you use at least 3 to 4 characters. So I'm gonna control 4 characters in my solo game, and now we're gonna choose. First thing you do is choose the characters you want to control, and this is how it works. You're gonna shuffle this crew manifest deck, and for the first character I want to control, I'm gonna draw 2 cards. We're gonna flip them, and then I'm gonna decide which one of these characters I want to take. So we have here an officer, and what's important here, you can see under the officer, like little his occupation, there is special ability. I mean, the thing he only he has. It says starts with a revolver, so this is important. This is the guy that actually starts with the firearm, which is pretty good in this game. Or I can go for the electrician, and he starts with an oil lamp. So after you draw this card, you're gonna choose which character you wanna roll for his traits. As you can see, this character, I mean every character has major 4 traits: move, skill, sanity and luck. And you're gonna roll 4d6 dice, and you're gonna assign those dice to his well, normally you would write these down using a pencil or a dry erase marker. Let's say you make a PMP and you laminate these cards. But in this tabletop simulator, I can just copy dice and place them in these little spots, which I'm gonna probably do. I'm gonna take 1 die from here, make it really small like this, so I can place them on the card, and maybe even smaller, and I can track, because your traits can't go over the 6. It's gonna be from 1 to 6. Alright, so let's form our first character. You have 1 roll, and then you assign dice to these characteristics. If you are not satisfied with the roll, then you have to set aside that character, take the one that you didn't took and roll again, and that's gonna be your next character. So that's how you mitigate like bad rolls. But in this case, I think even with the bad rolls, I want to keep this guy because he does came with a revolver. So, well, we'll see from the roll. So technically you don't have a reroll. It is what you get. Bam. Oh, well, this is not bad. So I have a 5, a 3, and a 4, and a 1. And now I need to assign them. So let's say I want this character to be really fast. Oh, actually, movement is not that is specific thing. Movement is not the value of the die. Everything else is the value of the die. Movement is actually depends on how much did you roll. So for instance, if I rolled a 1, my movement is going to be a 1. But if I roll a 2, 3, or 4, my movement is going to be 2. And if I roll a 5 or 6, my movement is going to be 3. So the maximum you can move is 3 spaces. The minimum is 1. So right now, if I want to assign a 5, I have to turn it into 3. Actually, that's going to be my movement. Actually, let me check. Just a second. I need to consult my writings here. just for a sec. Oh yeah, so on a roll of 1 my movement is 1, on a roll of 2, 3 and 4 I move 2 spaces, on a roll of 5 I move 3, but if I roll a 6 I get actually 4 spaces. So in this case, if I assign a 1, this guy is going to just be able to move 1 room or space per movement. If I add 3, it's going to be 2 for him. If I add 4, same thing, but if I give him 5, he will be able to move 3 spaces. Actually, I'm going to assign a 3, so that's going to be 2 movement he has. Alright. Next thing, these dice use values you have rolled. So I'm thinking I'm going to give him a luck of 1. And I'll explain how the luck works later on. And I want to keep a 5 for a skill. Oops. I'm going to keep a 5 for a skill, and I'm going to use a 4 for his sanity. Actually, I can place them like this. It's kind of interesting. So that's my character I'm going to use. Let's place him here for now. The other character you set aside for now. It's going to be shuffled back into the deck, but as I said, you can always draw 2, choose 1, and then if you're not satisfied with the roll, take the other one. Alright, so let's see the second character I'm going to use. I have this guy, which is the Able Seaman. Start with +1 to all traits. That's pretty good. Or radio operator. He automatically passes any skill test inside the radio room or a chart room. Alright. The numbers are also important, but in this case I think I'm gonna go with the Able Seaman here, because he has a +1 to all traits. Now let's see. Maybe I'll not be satisfied with the roll. Let me just take these little dice and copy them, so I can use them for this character. Okay, let's go for a really good roll. Oh, not so good. But he has a +1 to all traits. So if I take a 1 for his movement, it's going to be +1, so it's actually 2. So let's say his movement is going to be 2. I'm going to put a 6 to his skill, and that way he will have a 7, so he will always pass his skill test. This is really important. How do you pass the skill test? You have to roll lower than your skill. So in his case, his skill is now 7, and I can't roll a 7 on a d6, so he will always pass his skill test. So that's really good. He automatically passes. So well, he's Able Seaman. For sanity, I'm gonna put 2, which is basically gonna be 3. Now, to not make myself make a mistake, I'll leave it at 2, because I know I have a plus. And my luck is also 2, but it's actually 3. All right. There it is, my second character. We're gonna set this one aside. Alright, let's flip this. Alright, as you can see, I have a sailor which starts with Tsunyalo, which is a dog, and engineer which starts with a hammer. Oof. I think for this playthrough I actually want this guy with the dog. Also, the guy with the hammer and engineer are really useful guys in the game. Come on, but I want to have a dog. I want to have a sailor and a dog. Okay, we'll see depending on the roll. So let me copy a dice, roll for his statistics, for his traits. Alright, not great, but not terrible. I'm gonna definitely add only 1 to his luck, and I'm gonna use a 1 for his movement, so he'll be able only to move 1 space. I'm gonna take 4 for his sanity, and again I'm gonna use a 6 for his skill test. So this guy can only fail if he rolls a 6. Alright, so we have another crew member, and I'm actually gonna set them by their numbers, so a 2, 10 and a 19 so far. Alright, so no engineer. And lastly, my last crew member is either gonna be a coal trimmer, which starts with a shovel, which could be used as a weapon, so that's good, or a fisherman, which starts with a pocket knife. I think I'm gonna go with the coal trimmer on this one. I wanna get that shovel. So again, let me roll for his traits. Bam. Ooh, that's actually a really good roll. So if I use a 4 for his movement is actually going to be 3, which is not bad. So bam. A 6 to the skill, why not? Really skilled coal trimmer. A 5 for his sanity, really not bad. But his luck sadly is going to be only 1. Oops. Alright. He's number 5, so he's somewhere in between here. And now let's give them their items, if they come with any. So I'm gonna place their items on their right side. So I need to make some spacing here. Alright, so this guy doesn't have any items, but he has +1 tool trace. This guy gets a shovel, so you go to the item deck and you search, let's see, shovel. Shovel, where is it? Oh, here it is. We're gonna give him his shovel. It's an item tool weapon. This tool can also serve as a weapon to attack enemies in your room. So normally if you don't have weapon you can't use attack action. So this guy is now, like, if he gets attacked, I mean if he meet any monsters he can't do anything, he can only run from them. But this guy can actually fight now. So he has a shovel. This guy has a dog. Let's find it. Sunyalo the dog. Oh, here it is. Sunyalo dog. You do not get knocked out when enemies hit you. You still receive wounds. So I guess dogs help you out somehow. And you can use the Sunyalo help free action, so you don't have to spend an action, it's a free action. You may roll 2d6. If you roll doubles, Sunyalo will kill one enemy in your room, but if at least one of those dice is a 1, Sunyalo will die defending you, so he can actually fight. But this guy, let's say he has companion that can help him. And lastly, let's find that revolver. Here it is. Officer with a revolver. And in the game, thematically, the guy with the highest number should be the alpha player. A bit telling others what should they do, you know. And we have the officer that leading these guys. Alright, and I'm gonna take one of these dice, because revolver and any other firearms always come loaded. And you can see it comes with 6 bullets. So I'm gonna set this to 6 and place it like this. So he already has a 6 bullets. Nice. Revolver, a dog, a shovel, an able seaman. So that's our team. Now, where do you start your game? I also need to pick up these little portraits up there. So that's 19. Able seaman. Where is the coal trimmer? Here it is. and this guy. All characters always starts in this room here. It's called the safe room, and you can actually see it here. Number 3, safe room. And we're gonna place them all in the room. So why are they starting in this room? So when the ship hit the reef, which actually was a part of the Deep One city, they got stranded on it, and the ship got damaged, and then monsters came on the board and attacked the crew. These are the ones that managed to run all the way to the bilge and get into this special room with the steel door. As you can see, these doors are red. This steel door cannot be break by the monsters, so they are safe inside, and whenever you enter this room you are safe. Monsters cannot enter inside that room. They actually, if they enter turn here, if they don't move or do anything else, they just disappear. They go somewhere else because they can't break the door. So this is where they hidden. Screams and a commotion has stopped, and now they have to see what's going on the ship. Alright, after you set your crew like this, using all the dice and getting all the items, everybody else that was not taken is shuffled back into the crew deck, and we place that crew deck somewhere close by, because during a game you actually can find these crew members on the board somewhere, either laying down dead, torn apart by the monsters, or alive. So you don't actually know. I'm gonna use a medium difficulty, so we're gonna use this medium omen card, and now I need to seed the board with these boxes and the encounters. So how do we do that? We have 20 box tokens here. We're gonna use 2 dice. The red one's gonna be 10, the blue one's gonna be normal number, so you just roll and place. So this is 33, which is, so you take the token, the box token, and place in the regular row number 33. So if you look on the board, it's here. You just place the token there and continue until you seed all 20 boxes. So another 33. They could be more than 1 boxes in the same room. So that's nice. I don't have to walk. 66. Okay, 66 is, let me check here in one of the main rooms. 51 here, another 66. Ooh, what's this room? 7. That's a crew quarters, I think. No, that's officer quarters. Oh, 2 boxes in the officer quarters. Now it doesn't really matter where you place them. Actually you should place them on the number, yeah, because this is a space. If you have a room, just place it there, because when you enter the room you can use an action to open them. And you can stack them, so there are 2 here, like that. Yeah, I can actually stack them like that. Okay, let's continue. 35 here, 15, that's here, 45 here, 46 here. Oh, lots of boxes as we come from a, that's actually good. We're gonna find some items. 11, that's here. Now these are open spaces, just so you know, these white ones without any like lines around it. So open spaces, you're basically walking on the open space of the deck. It's important in some crisis. 46. Oh, here, oh, 2 boxes here. It's actually good. 55. 54. Where is the 55? Oh, here it is on the staircase. 22 here in the open space. 41. Here. I'm loving that most of the boxes are in the bilge. 44. 65 here. Another 55. Oh, that's staircase again. 3 more boxes. 62. Where is 62? Oh, here on this staircase. Another 55. Ooh, there is on this staircase. There are lots of boxes on this staircase. I love it. I need to go there. And 36. 36 is also the staircase. Alright, so that's all the boxes we have on the ship, and they are final, so that's where the items are. There will be no more boxes seeded during a game, so you will have to be careful. I mean, because you actually can destroy some of them by hiding inside them. You destroy the items inside if you hide inside them. So these are the places where you can also hide, just so you know. Alright, now we're gonna see these encounter tokens, and they're gonna be seeded in the same way, but actually they're gonna be seeded a bit differently, not in the same way. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna place one encounter in each of the rooms of the regular rooms of the on the bilge. So you're gonna first fill each room with these encounters. One per room, so you can place it wherever you want, like on this space if I wanna. So not the staircase though. You don't put any on the staircases. So only the rooms. So let's say here. And not in the main rooms, not in the blue ones. And then you continue on the upper deck until you have only 8 left. So I'm gonna actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. I'm gonna set this aside. I'm gonna fill in the rest. So one here. Oh, this whole space is one big room, so I'm gonna place only one. Alright, 3 more. Now I can place this where I want. So let's say one here, maybe one here, and one here, and that's it. Now the last 8 ones you're gonna place in the inside of the main rooms, these blue ones. So I need to roll actually 3d6. Alright, so 7. Room number 7 is here. Let's say as we open the door we're gonna find it. 11. Where is the 11? Not here. Let's actually place them on the number where the number is. 11. And by the way, if you roll the same main room twice, instead of placing the encounter, you're gonna put it back into the bag, because there can't be like 2 encounters in the same room. Alright, how much is this? 13. 13 is a generator room, so there will be some encounter if we manage to unlock the generator room. 8. Where is the 8? Oh, here. I think that's a wardroom. 15. Ooh, interesting. Is, I think, here. Yeah, that's a sick bay, right? Let me check. Yeah, sick bay. Countering the sick bay. What's this? 6. That's I think crew quarters. And last one, we're actually gonna have all of them. Interesting. Last one is 8. I think we already covered the 8. Let me just check. Yeah, so the last one actually goes back into the back. All right. So that's how you fill in the map. And we need to do one more thing. Actually, 2 more things. We need to spawn 1 noise token. So we start the game with 1 noise token spawned, and they are spawned on these red numbers. So for that we're gonna have to roll, let me check, 2d6, yeah, because there are 12 of these numbers. So the noise is on 7, and you take the noise token number 1 and you place it here. That's on the ship front. So there is something there for now. The last thing you need to do is create your event deck and take the first crisis. So I'm gonna search this crisis deck, and I need to find a crisis that is called "They Are Not Human." That's the crisis you always start with. Where is it? Here it is. So this is a active crisis right now. I think I'm gonna keep them here. They are not human. I'm gonna read it before we finish the video. And then you shuffle this and take 2 from a deck randomly. The rest will not be used during this game. And then you shuffle this deck and take 22 cards from it. So let me do it like this. Cut 22. Cards. These events will not be used in the game. From that 22 cards, you take first 4 cards. Let's do it like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take one of the crises on the bottom and then just place these cards over them. And then do the same again. 2, 3, 4. A crisis, and then all the cards over them. And then you put this back onto the event deck, and you also put this back onto the event deck, and your event deck is ready. So what this do is prepare your 24 event cards, but inside those, actually 22, but inside there are 2 crises. They're gonna be activated after the 4th card. Now if you manage to finish this off before, you'll see how it works. Well, you might not even see those crises, but that's really questionable. I mean, if I get lucky like that on the first try, that would be something. You don't put these ships yet. As I said, they're going to be activated later on. So let's see what our main crisis, what we need to do to win the game. Well, for now, of course, because other crises can actually change this. Alright. So they are not human. Deep ones are coming on board with an intent to kill or abduct everyone on the ship. Someone must go to the radio room and send a message to Columbia. That's another vessel that is nearby. So you use an action, use radio, pass a skill test in the radio room. And as we look at our characters right now, this guy just will always pass the skill test. So I guess he would probably should go for the radio room. But this guy is also really good with the skill test. He can only fail if he roll a 6. Well, Joachim is also. So we have lots of people that are really skilled, which is good. But that will not be enough. One crew member must also fire a flare gun from the upper deck, so the Columbia can get a good bearing with the storm raging on, because there is a storm raging on right now. Flare gun must be fired from the open space number 7 or 6, so either from the front or from the back of the ship. If you manage to do both of these objectives by the end of turn 24, you win the game. Now there is a failure. It says, so by the end of the 24, if you don't do this, it says, or everybody dies anyway, no one comes to your rescue. Those that are lucky are killed quickly, the rest are infected and used for breeding purposes, and Mare Istra sunk, game over. So that's our first objective. Now let's see how can we do that objective. Radio room is locked. That's what we know. So it must be unlocked somehow. We don't have a keys. There are some items that can unlock it, and we might find it through these boxes or not. We don't know. We are maybe doomed from a start, but we don't know that. You still have to try and play it. This is not a game which gonna hold you by your hand and tell you everything's gonna be right. This is like the worst game you ever played in your life. I mean, in a good way, not and in the bad way also. So we will have to unlock the radio room somehow, otherwise we can't get in and we can't send that radio message. The other thing is a flare gun. The only way we can find a flare gun is in the armory, which is also locked right now. So that's one space where the flare gun could be, or maybe it's one of these boxes. You never know. Or maybe you find a character with a flare gun. So somehow we need to find the keys, unlock these rooms during a game, and do this thing. Send the radio message and shoot the flare gun from the upper deck. Now the problem with the upper deck, there are a lot of these spawn points for the noise marker, which could be monsters and maybe not. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's a crew member. Who knows? So you need to watch out. Anyway, this actually sets the game. We don't need to do anything else. And in the next video, we're gonna do a full playthrough. I'm gonna split it into a few videos, but that's the setup. That's how you set up the game, your characters, your first objective, and you're ready to go. So see you in the next episode, and wish me luck on my first playthrough of Mare Istra. See ya.